We're live.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Playing with Power. It's been a while, and we're trying to get back in the swing of things. We've done two. Well, we've done one, and this is two, so we're happy about that. And so I'm here. I'm Chris. I'm the weekend game guy, and of course we have Stu, Mr. Dude 206.
Hello.
Stu, you feeling high?
A little bit.
Of the paint?
No, not really. Painting a car fucking sucks.
There's that.
It'll be worth it though.
And of course, there's Mike. Mike will be the game genie. You know he's here because, well, he's hosting this thing, sort of. And Mike, how you doing?
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Mediocre. You're supposed to say super awesome.
I'm super fantastically mediocre.
Yeah. Well,
There
you
you
could
go.
have pooped on yourself, so there's that. We had that whole conversation.
Well, I could have pooped on myself and blamed it on my kid, which
That's
I think
good.
someone else is doing.
Well, I'm not going. All right, so we were going to talk about a couple things tonight, guys, and I'm not really sure of everything you guys decided to talk about because, I missed like all of the conversation you guys had before we got started. I literally walked in the door, walked in, hit go, said hey.
Most of the conversation was about how I didn't understand how to set up a live stream.
Oh, okay. So it's typical conversation, standard weekend.
Yeah, it's
Typical.
It's me sitting in front of my computer holding up a condom wrapper saying latex condominium. I'd love to live in one of those one day.
Where's the NT?
Control.
So I really don't know what's going on. So I'm going to kind of have to pass the buck on this.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how the life cycle of systems is completely out of whack. Yeah, so
Yep.
Nintendo for years has kind of been messed up. Like Nintendo jumps the gun, and it's funny because they say we're releasing our next gen system, which is never next gen. It's actually not even up to the standards of the other gen around it. Like when the Wii U came out, it still wasn't as powerful as the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. But yet, Here we go. And Nintendo jumped the gun again. They just released the Switch, which, to my understanding, isn't as powerful as the PS3 or Xbox 360. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Isn't it like a 720p? The screen itself is the Switch screen is 720p, and then all the dock station does is it just upscales it. It's not really anything else to it, right? It's just an upscaler. So you're pretty much never more than a 720p. I'm not really sure, but
I don't know.
Zelda that's far below what everybody else is right now.
And Zelda looked really nice. The Switch definitely doesn't do 4K gaming, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, was it really meant to be a freaking handheld device, or was it actually a whole console? You know?
That's what I think. I think this is the successor to the 3DS, and they were like, "Hey, well, why don't we make it dock so people can play it on TV too?"
Which is
Nintendo's sneaky.
And I feel like isn't that kind of what the Wii U was supposed to be? At least the implication that I was presented with, I guess, was it the Wii U was supposed to be that you could take the little tablet and play that like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wish that was the way it works, but the Wii U doesn't work that way. If you go 5 footsteps away from the system, it just goes off. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty stupid, but I thought it was if you had like weak internet or something. But portability was like the big thing. Even the Vita failed with the PS4, previously the PS3. That never worked out.
No, the remote play you're talking about with the PS3, PS4, right?
Yeah. It's cool in some aspects, but it's just not powerful enough. So, and at that point, you're only fucking 5 feet away from your TV. So what the fuck is?
Yeah. Why not just play it on the TV?
You know, just play it on the TV. But the thing is cool is that you can be in the living room with a bunch of other people, and they don't want to watch you play video games, so you can't switch it over to that mini console. So I guess that could
The other cool thing is, like, you could be at a family dinner and everybody's eating dinner and you're watching Pornhub on it.
Yeah.
That's always good.
How's the turkey? Fantastic.
Could you pass some more napkins?
Wash your hands. Jeez.
So when I wrote Stu earlier and I was like, yeah, so we're starting in an hour and 20 minutes because I'm also an old man and I don't understand the time zones. Stu was like, oh, there's an hour. Time for a wank. Get one in before we start.
Make sure you keep the pipes clean before the.
Yeah. So
right.
Do you guys remember the live streamer that got caught last year?
Yeah.
Like, going back on it, like, it's not like you can actually see his junk, or at least in the video I watched. So I kind of think that he did that intentionally to try to get attention.
And if that was the case, he succeeded very much so.
Yeah, big time.
But let's be fair. If he faked that, he made the right face. Like, he made that face we all make. The one that's like, that staring into nothingness when you're right there. You know the one. Like
he said, you know my face.
You know the one. You've seen
that face.
on live
you know what I'm talking about.
private stream.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Speaking
my red tube channel.
Speaking of staring into nothingness, so the reason we bring that up is because right now, news piece came out last week that the PS5 is on the way. And we know that Xbox is on the verge of releasing a new system too, the Xbox Project Scorpio. So, I mean, these systems only came out, 4 years ago? That's a pretty short life cycle for a system.
Mm-hmm. It's just that technology keeps, improving, and they want to make as much money as they can because they are a business. But with the PS3 or PS4 specifically, how are you going to release a PS4 Pro and then say there's a PS5? That's like what happened with the Sega Saturn and what was that, Sega CD? The same thing that happened before that.
Yeah,
and still there's a majority of games that are just HD remakes and all that stuff.
Right.
So we're gonna have PS4 Plus games on the PS5, and it's crazy. It's stupid. It's just
it is stupid. It's frustrating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially since the systems aren't really backwards compatible. I know that the Xbox One released a soft mod to allow like a lot of the Xbox 360 library to be backwards compatible. But the PlayStation, who was known for the backwards compatibility, stopped doing that. They're like, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I guess on Sony's end, that kind of pushes you more toward rebuying it from the digital marketplace so that, you know what I'm saying? That's in my head, that's probably their goal, obviously. It's always to make money. Well, yeah, but it's always to make money. That's the goal. So,
well, you can see it from the new gamers. Like, say if you had never had a console and then you bought a Switch recently, I'm seeing like what is it, Waku Waku 7, a bunch of Neo Geo games you can get for $8. That's cool to get it if you were just into it. But as like a pure collector, you're like, oh, what the fuck? But the price point of these systems can be lower because they lower that shit within a year or two anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it kind of, they need to just work on a system, let it live for a little bit instead of worrying about trying to outdo the other companies, kind of.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you think about some of the best releases for every system, even PlayStation 3 was very late in the life cycle of the system. Like, you look at Last of Us. I mean, Last of Us was a beautiful game that maximized the system, and we're never going to see the maximum of the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One.
No. I mean, how many how many true PS4 games have been released and not just PS3 HD? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really, I don't know, I don't think I've really heard of anything that's been released current gen that was like, wow, And part of that is they're rolling through the iterations of the consoles so fast that I don't know. Is it just that consumers have ADD? Is it just consumers have ADD?
I'd say, why don't they make like a modular console, but that's fucking PC.
Yeah, so good, right? So good, Mike.
Yeah,
so good, Mike.
So good,
so good.
What's good?
Oh, he's talking about PC gaming. Like, we had a discussion about it the other day where Chris is like, yeah, everything runs on the PC. And my experience with PC gaming is I'm going to try to load up Doom 2 here, and then the thing chugging along trying to work.
Well, that's you're using a Mac though, so
No. I'm not talking about the Mac. I'm talking about back when PCs first came out and Doom 2 first came out, and trying to run, like, you're saying that you can run Alien Isolation, but did you have to go out and buy like an updated graphics card, any of that foolishness?
No, it ran on what I had. It ran on.
Yeah, the only reason why you would buy upgrades is so you can have it run smoother, but you can run it on minimum.
Yeah, and my I run it at like 1080p, and it's not ultra high mega melt your face settings, but it's good enough. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm also not like a graphics whore. Like, if it plays, fine. You know, it runs on what I had.
Because PC guys are known for that. Like, the textures in this weren't like 10, 100,000, and that green, that blade of grass wasn't fucking grass, man.
I'm not that way. It's
those titties weren't fucking voluptuous.
That's all that matters. No, the games are cheaper. That's really, at the end of the day, like, I get them cheaper. And even if I've been known to buy games and realize, oh shit, it don't work. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
So, something's going on with Mike.
Mufasa,
a child.
I have one of those.
A child. Challenger appears.
Yeah. Ready Player 4.
So, Mike, who is that?
That's Baby Zangief.
Baby Zangief.
This is Scarlet.
Scarlet. She's not caring. She don't care. Night, night, baby.
You taking her to bed?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Good night, babies.
You tomorrow,
I'm an attentive parent.
Good for you. I don't know where my kids are.
You don't?
They were outside playing in the street or something. I don't know what's going on.
I saw kids playing in the street tonight. I was amazed by it because I didn't think kids played outside anymore.
You know what's crazy?
Did they have bikes?
They had bikes, yeah.
There was a kid.
I think one of them was shooting off a bottle rocket.
Did they have slingshots?
No.
That's not as fun. When we lived on the farm with the camel.
Do you miss the camel, though?
I do, actually. It's funny. But the guy, I missed those. It stunk. It smelled like a circus, but I missed that smell. Is that weird? I don't know.
Yes.
You kind of got used to it, and it kind of became like part of your life, and now it's gone, and something's not right anymore.
Something's not right?
Something's not right. But there was the guy that rented the house to us, he also rented out other properties, a trailer, a couple trailers, all this stuff. Well, there was this one kid in the neighborhood that was probably 3 or 4, and we would pull up at night, and he would be outside by himself, completely by himself, just hanging out, playing. And I mean, it's dark out, and this kid's like 3.
Hey, I thought of something, Chris. You know how you lived on a farm with a bunch of different animals, right?
Right.
Hold on. And they had you there too, so you were kind of like the human.
No,
He was a collector, man.
that's why we had to get out of there.
Yeah, you just were there for display.
Mm-hmm. That explains why so many people would come in and throw peanuts at me. And
Yeah.
What is that?
What's
Wrong?
What's wrong with that guy?
Why is he limping?
But
we derailed that, didn't we?
a little bit. So, Mike, you gonna get a PS5?
I actually don't think so. I think I'm kind of
Pretty done with this generation.
not with this generation. I like this generation. I like the PS4. I like the Xbox One. I went out and bought a Switch, even though it only has Wii U games. So, yeah, that's the only thing I have set up here, and I've got tons to play, but I can't imagine going to buy another system right now just so I can, and there's nothing super interesting coming out. Like the Xbox One, I love it. I think it's a great system, but realistically, it has no grab you titles. Like outside of Halo 5 that people went nuts for. That's the only system exclusive that you need one for.
What was the last game besides Zelda Breath of the Wild that got you guys like, oh my god? Like, I have to have that game. Or it came out like, I need that. Or I can't wait till it comes out. I was kind of hyped over the Resident Evil 7, but I haven't bought it yet. But since the whole VR situation, kind of like, but it wasn't really Resident Evil.
Not really.
But that's just, but I don't think they'll ever go back that way because nobody likes tank controls anymore. If you go back to playing that shit, it's like, it's...
The tank controls weren't the issue. The issue was they got away from the survival horror piece and went into action.
Just action.
And it just became stupid. I mean, if they just
kind of quick time.
Yeah, I mean, if they just went back to, here's Raccoon City, there's a bunch of zombies, regular zombies coming out, you need to kill them, and there's all kinds of cryptic shit around, bam, winner game. But instead they go, nah, we're going to have some kind of weird fungus thing, kind of like genital warts come out of the zombies, and then we're going to fucking have them, get on with all this crap, and then you got to get on a plane and go to Uruguay, and it's just too stupid. I mean, the last great Resident Evil game, like, even though I really like Resident Evil 4, the last great Resident Evil game was Code Veronica. That was the last real Resident Evil game with zombies.
Resident Evil 2.
Well, Code Veronica came out after Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was the best.
Yeah, that's just what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's funny because Mike mentioned it, but I think Alien Isolation was one of those that when I saw it, I thought, oh man, finally, like something that would. And that game is genuinely. It was funny because we were talking about that game the other day because me and Mike have realized we're old and we forget how to play games.
Yeah.
Like if we walk away for more than 35 minutes, your brain like, where am I?
There's just so much going on.
I restarted Final Fantasy 15 last night. I played it for 2 hours. I can't tell you how to play it. If I went in and started it again today, I'd have to start over again.
That's what, and I've had to restart Alien Isolation like 3 times. Well, I'm on my 3rd time.
Yeah,
and it is. But that game, when I saw the preview for it, I thought, oh wow, because it is not your standard. You're going to be like the boss, right? You're going to end up with every gun and you don't have anything to worry about. No, you were trapped and I have caught myself holding my breath, knowing I'm playing a game, but I'm holding my breath and I'm talking in a whisper and I'm, and I won't move because I'm afraid.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric. Very atmospheric.
So. Very cool.
I don't know if the computer does this, but I was playing on the Xbox One. And for some reason, I kept getting caught, and I was like, I have no idea why this is happening. But apparently, the connect through the Xbox One, if you move or you make a lot of noise, it'll actually trigger the alien.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! That is cool.
PC don't do that.
No, but I bet you somebody's come up with a hack to get the Kinect to work on a PC. And if you've done that, let me know, and I will thank you. But but if you I watched a video not long ago about the AI in that game, how they orchestrated that, and it's pretty genuine. It's not just like pre-programmed stuff. There are things that genuinely trigger the alien to do stuff, and it's like surrounding the alien, and it's pretty sophisticated how they did that. And that I
heard they got like some kind of storage warehouse and got a bunch of crackheads in green screen, and then they like sprinkled crack, and they put those little VR dots all over their body, and they just
sprinkled crack.
So
here.
That game, Alien Isolation, actually cheats though. The AI is told where you are. So it's not like there's a set pattern. Like they actually throw the stuff on top of you to make it as difficult as possible.
Right. And there's like a radius of like awareness that thing has. And so they set it up in such a way so you couldn't just like stay behind the alien and like sneak behind him. And they figured out like an awareness proximity thing.
Was there multiple or just one main one?
Oh no, there
There's
was
only one.
several.
But in the game, in game until like a later point, there's actually only one. The way the programming works, I'll have to show you guys the video. It's the craziest thing I've ever watched. I like computer science programming, stuff like that. Like that's pretty cutting edge stuff because I mean, there's always this quest for artificial intelligence, right? That's the new thing. And
there's a new game called Michigan coming out. I don't know if you guys seen that or not.
What is
it's about the AI. It was kind of like the robot that came alive, and then she was going to be taken apart, but they put her back together because she was actually had a soul. But they changed that project to be calling like Project Michigan or some shit, or Detroit is what it's called. It's about a bunch of androids that are kind of like, it's kind of like iRobot.
Is it the one? You guys don't even know the show. Is it the one that's the girl from? She was in The Following. Anything? You guys know that show? No.
Yeah, The Following with
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah,
And his penis.
yeah.
And
Hollow Man.
Yeah, Hollow Man. Yeah. Is that the chick that is? Mike, do you know what he's talking about? That sounds like the game. That sounds like the same game.
Yeah.
It looked really cool because the graphics of that, not to be a graphics one, but it looked like,
yeah,
it looked real. Like whenever they showed when I saw the first trailer, I thought, what? Oh. It was one of those things like if I don't have my glasses on, I would have thought, oh.
8 minutes ago, Chris goes, graphics aren't important to me. 8 minutes later, man, have you seen the graphics in that?
Well,
and I swear it was my kid who shit his pants, not me.
It was
it's better than Alien Syndrome on the Nintendo.
Just about anything is.
Yeah.
Hey, that game was kind of eerie when that came out, though.
It's interesting
Alien
it's interesting about what scared us then. What passed for atmosphere then, versus because I can remember being kind of like, okay, here's a good example is, Ghosts and Goblins, and the reason it's a good example to me right now is my son is playing classic Nintendo games now, so. One of the ones he has played is Ghosts and Goblins. And he gets to the beginning and he goes, Daddy, I don't like that. Like whenever they're in the graveyard and the devil comes out and grabs the chick, he's like, Daddy, I don't like that. So it's interesting because like he's young enough that that's scary.
Can he get past Devil Brand?
Yeah.
Or Firebrand?
Yeah. No, he can't. I'm just kidding. He can't. He can't get past.
It's like why do they throw him in the very beginning of the game like that?
Because it's the hardest fucking game in the world to piss you off. That's what it's for. That's all that game's for.
Just fucks you up.
Fuck that game. I thought anytime I got through him with my armor, I thought I was a badass. I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but our good friend Mike Levy, he recently just posted some kind of challenge video about beating super ghouls and ghosts. You guys seen that?
No. Did he finish it?
Well, I don't know who the hell can finish it. I mean, like it's the only game in the series without unlimited continues. And you still got to beat it twice, and it's probably the hardest game in the series.
Yeah.
That's one of the best ones.
That's
my favorite one, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, I'd say so.
Yeah, it's the only one of the series I owned growing up, but like I'm the absolute shits at it. I've made it to level 3, probably ever before.
I would say my favorite is the original, but that's the only one I ever owned.
The Genesis game is probably arguably the best.
I like that
one on the Genesis.
I like that one a lot. I think the only reason I prefer the NES one is just because it's nostalgia. That's what that is.
The Genesis one is the easiest. It's the only one I beat, but it's kind of the best too.
Well, I ain't beat shit. I ain't done any of them.
Yeah.
I ain't done any of them. No.
It's fun to play. Fun to play though.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of those that I come back to a lot. Which
did you guys play Maximo?
PSD? I did. The PlayStation games? Yeah, I played one or two of them.
Spiritual successor, dude.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like the same thing, but they didn't scratch that itch. Not in my opinion. But not bad. Oh, that's the baby texting him.
No, that's
Uh-oh.
a friend of mine telling me to check the live chat. Few comments, he said.
Oh, check the chat, Mike. Say hello.
I kind of want to go get another beer. Is that bad?
Go for it.
You think my wife will be mad if I go to bed drunk? You think she'll be mad?
No, she'll be fine.
Nah, she'll be cool. She'll be cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's fine.
There she is.
She's your what?
Look at her. She's bringing me beer.
Yay!
It's like she knows.
The best wife ever.
Best wife ever. And she's sick.
Chris says ESP
Cheers.
uses it to get beer.
What else would you use it for?
To win the lotto.
Nah, you're not supposed to use those powers for that, according to psychics. Can we?
Why not?
I wanted to mention something. Last week, not last week, week before last, someone asked in the chat about, because we were talking about emulation. They asked if, I can't remember how they put it, but they asked if we use emulation sometimes to play imported games in our language, our native tongue. And have you guys ever done that? Tried that? I have.
Wait, what? What did you say again?
It's
Like-
so what he's saying is you would download something like Mother 3,
Yeah,
and then you would download a patch,
language patch. Yeah,
language patch.
yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever done that? I did that for Sweet Home, and I've done it for. I did it for one Paku Graffiti too, but that one didn't. You don't really need a language patch.
I got the language patch. Now I know what's happening.
All it did was change the start menu. That's all it really did. Well, that I know of. But I did do it for Sweet Home though. That obviously made a huge difference in the game.
There were
know.
already mods for Sweet Home, like tons of mods with English translation though.
Yeah, and it would be
Spanish
nice.
translations.
You know, RPG games like in particular. I mean, you'd have to. So yes, I have done that, but I don't really play enough import games to like justify. Normally, when I play an import game, it's like it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's a platformer. It's something I don't need to know the story. I don't really care.
One I wish they would work on a patch is the remake of Phantasy Star 2 on the PS2 that needs an English patch, because that's the only remake of that game that has great graphics. Otherwise, you're playing it on the Genesis. And they made it. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I jumped in. I'm sorry, Stu.
No, they made an English patch, a fan-made English patch for the first Phantasy Star that was remade graphics and everything for the PS2 import, but they never got around to doing it for the Phantasy Star 2. Now go ahead.
Now, yeah, so did they ever make an English patch for Shining Force 3 parts 2 and 3?
Were those? I thought that came out for the Game Gear.
Saturn.
Oh.
The Saturn had Shining Force 3, but we only got part 1 here in North America. Part 2 and 3 were released. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of bullshit. Why would you play that part 1 if you can't play 2 and 3?
Yeah, but it was never sold here as part 1. It was just sold here as Shining Force 3. I didn't know about it until I got into YouTube years later and found out there was a part 2 and 3 as well.
I guess you can just watch a Let's Play. Now that you can do that, you know.
Whoa!
You know, Pete.
Extreme close up.
So people on YouTube are getting paid for doing those Let's Plays and walkthroughs, and
Some people are.
For the
Some
people
are just
that-
getting their videos taken down.
All right, so
yeah, right.
let's go in a different direction. Let's do this. What the fuck is going on with YouTube? Like, what has YouTube become?
How?
It I don't know. Everybody.
It was.
One thing.
No.
One I want to say is like I like the people on YouTube, but I don't like the people trying to be personalities.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
I-
Everybody wants to be a cartoon character of some sort, and they're getting away from being who they actually are. And then they get burnt out of being whoever that persona is, and then they just drop the fuck off.
So I'm sorry because I usually use very nice language when I make videos on here and stuff like that. But I'm going to give you an example. So when Facebook came out, originally. Well, when I joined it, it was just a way to connect with people, like people you went to high school with. All of a sudden, you hadn't talked to them in like 8 years. Well, you add them on Facebook, and you're like, oh, Jimmy's got a kid and stuff like that. It was just a way to connect. But then people that I know that have done nothing with their lives, got pregnant at 18, work at Tim Hortons, have lost cars because they couldn't afford the payments, all of a sudden start posting on their Facebook page like their life is more important than everybody else's, like they're a celebrity, like they've got something to show. And like it drives me nuts. And and maybe I'm being an asshole now, but that's
You
possible.
asshole.
But I find YouTube's kind of the same way too. Like people don't just. I guess the idea when I first joined, it seemed like it was a community thing, and maybe I missed the point. But it seems like everybody's trying to become somebody. Like,
well, you can't blame anybody either way, this or that. You know what I mean? But some just take fucking advantage, like Amazon wish list and open a fucking PO box to send me shit just because you're my follower or viewer and whatever. You disagree with people just opening PO boxes to have shit sent?
That's their business. Is that a cat?
Yeah, I've got several pets. I think I adopted your zoo.
Just making sure it wasn't like someone trapped in a closet. That's what I was worried about. Quiet in there.
Quiet.
You'll get the whole.
I'll further go back to my point. It seems less and less like it's a place for people to post videos, kind of like what's happening in your life or what you're doing, and like vlogs and stuff like that. And it's more about the production type stuff now. And it doesn't seem to be a lot of room for people to just do everyday shit. And there's not any interest in it. It's all about the production. And I'll give it a direct example. I was on Twitter the other day, and another YouTuber was talking about how people make comments all the time, like instead of commenting about any of the content of the video, just content on picture quality, sound quality, other things like this. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not fucking MGM Universal. I don't have the same production value. I'm just an asshole in front of a camera. So I don't understand why you. I made the comment, like, I wish people, instead of just saying, oh, your camera's not very good or your sound quality is not very good, I wish they would just comment with, I wanted to watch Smosh. This isn't Smosh.
The thing happened a couple years ago. I would say it all started about a year, 2 years ago when Netflix really took off, right? Because a huge viewership that once watched TV shows and regular broadcast television has now shifted. Like people have quote unquote cut the cord, right? So we're all watching Netflix now. Well, YouTube wants in on that action, right? Fine. I don't blame them. I want in on that action too. So that's why my my RedTube channel is up. But anyway, the thing is, They have now catered to these groups that they're like production companies, right? And they literally are. These are companies that now can post. They can post daily. They can post highly edited and crafted videos that people engage with, and they will watch to the end. And it has become all about view time and not views. So YouTube pushes that. It's all about making money. I understand that. I understand that business side of it. I get it. They've got to pay to run servers, so forth, so on, so whatever.
What if they did something messed up saying whoever uploads a video that is not at least 720 to 1080p quality cannot upload a video?
I've seen that shit. Fuck you.
That could be possible. Like I think the first step they did was they prevented anybody with under 100,000 lifetime views from monetizing their video. I think steps like that are going to continue to get pushed up. It's 100,000 now. The next will be you can't monetize your video unless you have 1 million views, and then you can't post a video. Yeah, and it's what the first step is now 10,000 views before you can monetize a video. 100,000, isn't it? 10. Okay. That's the notification I received in an email from MCN. Yeah, I mean, but I get that too because of everything that happened with PewDiePie and them trying to that's YouTube making an attempt to
look, okay, we're going to true this up so that people are not just watching hate speech videos, but that's only once your channel hits 10,000 views. Once you've hit 10,000 views on your channel, you can then monetize.
Yeah.
That's not hard to do, especially if you're uploading every day. And let's face it, there are most people now do that. And even gaming channels, I mean, most of those gaming
YouTube
channels are
Red
Let's Players
and shit?
stuff like that. Yeah.
YouTube.
I mean, yeah. And it's all an effort. And honestly, it's all an effort to get a slice of the Netflix pie and get in on that. I don't blame them one bit. But because of that, it changed the entire climate of it. And Mike's right. There's a whole subset and a substantial portion of the people on YouTube are only on YouTube to try to be the next big thing.
I'd like to see the statistics on how many people actually watch YouTube a day. Like people have millions of subscribers, but how many people actually watch YouTube in one day? How many logins during 24 hours?
Yeah, I don't know. I know I watch every day. I watch daily. But see, the thing about it is what I watch, a lot of things I watch, I can literally just listen to, because a lot of it's just discussion or talk, or you know what I'm saying? I don't have to watch the video. I could listen to it as an audio podcast or whatever, however you want to slice the pie. Like even some game reviews, I don't have to watch it just to you know what I'm saying? Like I can get the information. I'm an information guy, and if you were to,
you're just tired of looking at Mike's face, huh?
Well, there's other aspects of Mike that are a little more.
Mike does have a crotch only channel though.
It's on my RedTube channel.
It's called my crotch.
Yeah, someone should actually do that, like start up a review channel, and instead of actually doing the camera on their face, just have their dick
crotch
in every shot, crotch shot. And like they're talking the whole time, and they're like, Breath of the Wild was great,
It was engaging. It was a complete copy of Dark Souls.
Yeah,
it was to an extent.
It was.
That's what I've heard. It's Dark Souls with a Zelda skin.
No. It's not Dark Souls with a Zelda skin. But I said this. I think we talked about it last time. They took, like Resident Evil 4 did, they took elements of popular games at the time and combined them to make basically what they thought would be the next revelation in this series.
Yeah, it's an example of cashing in on the trend, And once again, in terms of business and economics, hey.
But that's how it always been with gaming, though. You know what I mean? Even back when earlier games copied a different engine, like, Wu-Tang and Thrillkill, they both had the same engine, but one was more popular than the other, so that one made it.
Yeah.
And Fester's Quest and Blaster Master for their Nintendo, those were kind of the same. Mm-hmm.
I like me some Fester's Quest.
I hate Fester's Quest.
I hate Fester's Quest.
I don't like Fester's Quest.
I don't like Fester's Quest. I can't.
You guys suck.
Sorry, man. I give it a look. I try to play it all the time. This is one of those that comes up on the list of, hey, Daddy, let's play that. Okay, fine, son. Fuck this game. Let's play something else. Let's play Mario. Let's play Mario.
Let's play Mario.
Mario.
Kind of loves Mario. Like that kid, if I left him alone, he'd play Mario 3 all week and never turn the TV off. Probably never sleep. He loves Mario 3. I don't blame him. I don't.
So what three games would you say what three games would you say would remind you of your childhood the most? I'd say like TMNT 1, Karnov, and 8 Eyes are the games that I played the most when I was a kid. Whenever I think Nintendo, I think of Karnov and the first Ninja Turtles. How about you guys?
Karnov is definitely one of my favorites. I don't know that I'd put that on my list, but I would say Crystalis.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Mario 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably say Battletoads.
How about you, Mike? You ever play Nintendo, Mike?
No, I never played it. Mario 2. Mario.
Uh-huh.
It's for the
Mega Man. Mega Man 2.
It's like he's forcing out his shit.
Mario, Mega Man, and probably Link to the Past.
But no, that's Zelda.
Yes.
2?
No, not Zelda 2.
Oh.
Link to the Past.
SNES Zelda.
Oh, you want me to do all Nintendo games?
Yeah.
Well, probably, Mario 2.
Punch Out.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't own Punch Out. I played at a lot of friends' houses and stuff like that, but Wizards and Warriors 2 Iron Sword.
Fabio. Oh, did you sell your classic yet, Mike? It's up to like 600 now.
No, I'm not
What?
going to sell it.
Selling I got a whole closet full of these things. I need to sell them.
You need to do that, Chris.
I wish I did. If I had a closet full of, oh man.
Well, the frustrating thing is I have it. I never use it. It's just sitting there, but like I'm not going to sell it. I know I'm not.
Because you don't want to be that guy.
No, I'm totally that guy. But,
I'll totally fucking sell my shit.
yeah, but no, it's just I'd probably regret it.
Well, you waited like 8 hours in line, so you paid for it. You know.
Yeah, there's a whole story.
You've got to keep it
behind
now.
and
You've
stuff.
got to keep it now.
I don't think I'm going to get the SNES when it comes out though. If they do actually,
If you can fucking get it. Like, speaking of which, the SNES Mini, how is that debacle going to go through? And are they having the Famicom version or the fucking purple brick?
Yeah, it'll be the same thing as the NES Classic was, how they got the Famicom Mini in Japan, and we'll get the
ugly one.
Yeah, we'll get the ugly one here. They'll get the Super Famicom. That's something I always regret not getting. And every time I talk to Jim, I talk about it. I always wanted to get the Super Famicom in the box. I love the box. I love the way the system looks. I love the wacky controllers with all their different colors on the buttons. I really wish I had gotten a Super Famicom.
Just do it now.
Nah, I don't think I'll do it now.
Do it tomorrow.
No.
Get an emulator.
Yeah.
I hear that Ouya can play about anything.
I'm talking about actually having the physical system. I don't really give a shit about playing the games.
Because really playing the games doesn't matter.
No.
Who does that? What you really need is like, Mike, you know what your backdrop is missing is like a shelf full of games.
Yeah.
Touch. That's what you really need.
Surprisingly, when I stopped showing that shelf full of games, the views stopped coming in, didn't they, Chris?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, all my counterfeit channels got deleted. So
Oh, did they? Like, really?
no, just kidding.
Oh, I was like, shit.
You probably noticed some of your thumbs downs went away too. So you know.
Actually,
Sorry about
I
that.
did notice some of my thumbs down did go away.
Sorry about that. It was they were closed. I had to
Yeah.
start new channels.
Weekend Game
got
Guy
4 guys.
6, Weekend Game Guy 7.
Yeah.
1,321.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know I own Weekend Game Guy 3.
Yeah,
That's me.
it's all mook.
So you're upset with YouTube these days, Mike?
Not upset with YouTube. I'm just like I mentioned in my update video. I'm just kind of blah with it. Like you just after a while get the same comments. Like there's only so many times I can hear it's Mario, not Mario.
Do you get that a lot still?
Oh my god! Like on my top 10 videos, all I get now is I don't get any comments on my new videos. It's just constantly comments on those stupid top 10 videos I did with people attacking me because I said hard corpse instead of hardcore. And they're like, this is America. We piss red, white, and blue. How do you not know what core is? I live in Canada. Like we don't worry about having a military because we're not trying to push people around or we don't have that.
They're just nice.
We don't push people.
Guys.
We don't push people around here in the States, Mike.
But
Come
like,
on.
but you know, we're not military centric here. So I'm sorry that I don't understand everything about the U.S. military and about the different. But
yeah,
and here's the thing. Like, I don't mind if someone corrects me and says, "Oh, it's actually this." I'd be like, "Oh, geez, I'm so sorry." But people actually come out and say stupid things. Like one guy attacked me and was like, "It's core, you illiterate shit." And I was like, "Illiterate actually means that I don't know how to write, like or read or write. Like it's not saying something wrong. I mispronounced it. Maybe you're the one who's illiterate for not understanding the difference between the two. And like, if you actually go and look at some of the comments and what people say to you, they're just like, it's incredible, like how negative people are on the internet. And honestly, I'm not getting paid for doing this. I'm not making anything. I'm doing this for my own benefit, free will, and sometimes it's just not worth all the shit you get. You just gotta like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just not gonna make videos anymore.
You get those keyboard cowboys that can feel like they can say whatever they want because they're, it's the anonymity of it,
And the sad thing is, I don't care if it's kids. Like, if it's kids, you can kind of tell, But it's like some 38-year-old guy sitting home, and he's like, I'm going to show him.
And what did it accomplish? Corpse.
Nothing.
Hard corpse. My brother was a Marine. Hard corpse.
He was in the hard corpse?
He was in my brother was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. I'll say what I want to say.
Blast corpse.
Sort of, Mike. Remember, I'm still nice, even though I try to act like I'm going to talk big shit, but then I'll be like, I'll back down.
But it's just, and mostly that's what I get. And I've even tried to explain to people, like, I come from a place where we have a different dialect. I come from a place where we say things a little bit differently. And people are like, talk like an American or else. And I'm like, well,
not American.
Not American. I'm from Newfoundland. We say things strangely. It's
a lot of people thought I was from fucking Canada, I have the area code.
You're so close.
Fucking Washington. 206 is from Washington. How come people don't put that together,
I thought it was your weight.
That's last week.
I don't know what I thought. I just thought it was something. I was like, it's a thing. It's
it's how many
social security number. I don't know.
Social security number.
It's first three of his social. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's my frustration with YouTube right now. I'm just kind of, I don't really see the benefit in doing it. And like, I got a lot of nice comments on the update video I did that made me feel bad about like not making videos and stuff. But at the end of the day, there's a lot more negative than there is positive sometimes. And
for sure.
Nobody knows. No, but it's a lot of fucking work to keep up your channel and keep all the views and keep the backdrop of video games that people like, and also try to,
right,
that whole shit.
Yeah,
that's.
I got one for you too, and I'm sorry, I'm airing my grievances here. Another guy was writing on the update video. He was like, "Oh, it sucks that you killed the NES Complete Collection Chronicles videos." I didn't kill them. I didn't say I'm just not going to do that series anymore. I stopped collecting the games. Like, the significant difference here. It's like, if I have a channel that's all pickups and then I just don't pick anything up, like, is someone going to say, oh, well, you killed your channel?
Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't buy any games, guy.
Yeah. And right now, why bother? Right. You brought up pickups. I'm sorry. I'm going to like totally.
Let it out, Chris. Let it out, Chris. Let out the demon.
Listen. When pick up videos,
he's awake.
Hold on. When pickup videos were the thing, right? People would actually share stuff like, "Oh man, dude, I found Castlevania at Castlevania gets my get me wet," and like, okay, great. Now people are like, I see people like friends of mine that are posting on Instagram like, "Oh, dude, look what I found at Goodwill!" Like they're so excited about their pickups at Goodwill, and it's like broken Lego figurines or hold on. Where's my phone? Hold on.
I found some shit.
But what I'm saying is like thrifting. It might, Stu, a little bit better because you do a lot more thrifting, but I feel like it's dried up.
Not these. Yeah.
It's like dried up. So people are getting excited over like, hey, I found this. I found a broken PSP for $12. What?
Are they actually getting excited, or are they just trying to look for attention?
Right. And at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with it, right? Like that's what I think it is. It's like, look, I built my channel entirely up on on picking up stuff at garage sales and thrift stores, and that's my thing, and that's who I am, and I've got to be doing that. And if you're not doing that, whatever. But like,
So
okay,
what do you do when you're out of that then?
well, I mean, there are some people that do other stuff and share that on their YouTube channel. They actually make their YouTube channel about them. Stu, you are an excellent example of that. Like you've got your whole car thing, and I watch those videos and I go, I don't have the patience to do what he's doing.
Yeah, sometimes I don't either. But yeah, if you're not into something anymore, there's no problem with you switching it up.
The point is, the YouTube channel it's your channel. You can do whatever you want to. Fuck it. If I want to personally distance myself from retro gaming, and that's where I'm at right now. Me personally, that's where I'm at right now. I want to distance myself from that, not completely, but I want to play some other stuff. I don't want to be stuck playing Nintendo games forever. There's some new great games coming out, and if I keep just playing, Castlevania and Russian Attack, I'm not going to be able to. I wouldn't play Alien Isolation. I wouldn't play new games. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Russian Attack is a fantastic game.
It is an excellent game. Don't get me wrong.
I want to play Russian Attack right now.
It's so good. Have you ever noticed how all the Konami sprites look kind of the same? It's weird.
They kind of look like those little. They're fucking sprites.
Pick a Konami game. They all kind of got the same flavor of sprite.
Yeah, so going back to the pickup thing too, pickup videos started really irritating me because there was people on there that everybody was like, "Oh, this guy's an awesome guy," and then he'd pick up the same game like 100 times and be like, "Look what I got at Goodwill, and look at this box of games I got." And then you're looking at it, you're like, you already have all these games. Obviously, you're showing me, oh, look what I picked up. It's not about what game you're adding to your collection. It's about, hey, look what I picked up, and I'm going to resell. And, just.
And that kind of goes back to something we discussed last time, is that it became about the prices versus the prices versus the game itself. And that's all you would talk about. Like, well, I got it for $3. It sells for $70.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, I also got a weird code of ethics, very strange code of ethics when it came to game collecting. Like, if I went into Value Village and I saw something I didn't have, I didn't think, is there some way I can flip this to get money? I'd just be like, if I saw something I already had, even though it's a good deal, I'd leave it for the next guy. I figured that was like a code of ethics you do. And maybe, not everybody did that. I understand there's an element where people resell stuff to help build their collection, but to me it just seemed really tacky when people were like, oh, I got 17 copies of Earthbound, I'm going to sell them.
Yeah, that's when you get to the hoarder aspect. Like me personally, if I'm out thrifting and I see a double or something that, like, for example, I found a Japanese PS2. I ended up, selling it to a buddy that was looking for it, and I gave him a crazy discount on that because, it was helping him out and helping me out at the same time. But there are people that just keep, go to conventions, just let it all fucking fly. You know what I mean? That's not helping anybody, It's just helping your pocket. But it's a very fine line how to be an okay reseller or whatever the fuck. But regardless, you're in it for yourself.
And I guess what bugs me is that people aren't honest with what they are. Like, you're not a collector. You're a reseller. And if that's what you want to be, more power to you. But be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Be who you are. Don't be like, I don't know. There's a lot of people, and I don't care if you sell your games. Look, Mike, you sold a significant chunk out of your collection. I've sold damn near everything except for basically the Dreamcast and some PS2 stuff. And that was, Stu, you're always selling stuff to buy car parts. So
mostly PS2s.
Mostly PS2s. You're
mostly
like
PS2s.
Mall for those.
Hey, it's what at the thrift stores, and people repurpose them for other shit. So
yeah, I still kind of want to get hooked up on a modded one.
Oh, there's an old story about the PS2s that I think it was Japan or somebody bought like 100,000 of them when they first came out and built a supercomputer about them.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading how they did that, like how they networked them all together and they ran like folding at home and stuff on it. It's crazy stuff.
Whenever Stu sends us a message that he bought another PS2, I imagine that's what he's doing.
That is what he's doing.
Don't look behind there.
He's calculating car aerodynamics, so
yeah. So I also think about it in the future when I'm I'm already kind of out of the hobby and collecting. I haven't bought anything besides just little new gen games here, but all the knickknacks and games, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's too much to even resell. So they're at the point where you just got to fucking.
Good example. Right here, right next to me. Like I had all these guys right in the packages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this stuff. Right, like these things were all in packages. Like these guys
you just
were
took
all
them out.
And I was like, "Fuck it, I'm taking them out. What? I'm tired of moving this stuff." So I got my kids. I was like, "You guys want to open some toys?" And they were like, "Yeah, let's open some toys." I was like, "All right, let's do it." And I gave them like I had all these Sonic toys. The only one I kept was chubby real Sonic. That's the only one I kept. Everything else, I was like, "Take it out. I don't care. Let's play with it." And the kids got it out, played with Shadow the Hedgehog with his motorcycle, and they were completely happy. And you know what?
Nice.
It's a toy.
Nice.
That's what a toy is supposed to be done with, you know? Yes, there's some cool stuff that I'm going to hang on to. Like, there's a Donkey Kong over here. I've had it since I was, like, born. I'm going to keep that, but I'm not going to keep this shit in a package. Who cares about what it's going to cost you?
Watch what's going to happen, though. When your kid grows up, he's like, I had this toy back when I was a kid. I'm going to keep this one sealed because I had it back when my dad gave it to me.
Oh, my son will be that guy, though. He will be that guy, I know. But you know what?
Yeah.
That's his
it's just funny how that works out. That's totally cool.
It's history repeats itself. And that's his choice. But, you know, all this stuff. Like, look at all this stuff.
The Jim Beam box.
Who cares? Who needs a Jim Beam box? I want the Jim Beam.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people who keep their collections, don't keep
their
collections
I don't care.
or anything like that. It doesn't bother me at all.
No, I don't care. That's your choice. But I got to a point where I was like, what am I doing? Like it was a personal place. Like I've moved like 25 times in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And when you start moving a lot, because I moved a lot before me and my wife bought our house, and like I had all this stuff. Like I have probably like 60 or 70 G.I. Joes actually still in the box from when they did the re-releases. And like when I moved the first time, I packed them up and I didn't really have anywhere to put them. So they're all just sitting in bags and boxes and stuff like that. And I've never taken them back out. I don't know what to do with them. They're still all sealed in their packages, but I don't have any desire to display them. I don't know what to do with them.
Right, and that's the thing, right? That's where I got with the Street Fighter toys and the Mortal Kombat toys and things like that, and several others that I'm going to go through tomorrow. Actually, well, not tomorrow, maybe Sunday. But like, I've got boxes in here that I don't know what else to do with them. Like, where am I going to put them? You know, so I'm like, screw it. Let's open them up. Let's play with the toys. Let's put them on the shelves. Let's do whatever we got to do. The bubble packaging takes too much space up.
Yeah,
I don't care. There are things that I will keep packaged. You know, I've got like these Neon Genesis figures that are pretty hard to come by. I might keep that in a package, but
yeah.
But other than that, like I don't care. You know, like it's going to take too much time and effort to sell it in pristine condition. That won't be worth it. So why bother? Let's take it out. Let's display it. Let's have fun. Let's play with it. Whatever you want to do, kids. And that's it. I mean, screw it. I don't care anymore.
You know, Pat had a podcast about a whole bunch of people. Wait, no. Well, it's about people that take their retro collections and just end up opening a store. And there's a lot of resellers on the internet, eBay, OfferUp, trying to offload what they got into while they were in the video game hype. And so we're just seeing a lot of that.
And I think that's going to, you know, obviously that will drive the prices back down, at least to some degree. And then I don't know that once the bubble, if you want to think of it that way, once the bubble bursts, I don't know that it'll ever peak the way it peaked like last year before. I don't think it'll ever peak like that again, especially now because, you know, like Nintendo caught on to that shit. They're like, oh, let's make that's what the NES Classic was them going, look, guys, look, people want to play these old games. Let's tap into that nostalgia. That's my opinion, but that's what I think Nintendo does anyway, because I think they're a shady company. Because of the devil, Antichrist, Miyamoto.
They're like Apple. They're like Apple.
Guaranteed, Miyamoto, Antichrist.
Nintendo and Apple. So they're like this.
Strange bedfellows.
I have nothing positive to say about any of you right now.
That's right.
Oh!
It's because you've got the number of the beast.
We're trying to make you see the light, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like my Apple products.
You would.
And I like my Nintendo products too.
Whoops, I hit the wrong button again.
Sorry, Mike. Oh.
I fixed it.
What are you doing there, Keeb? You're rearranging your game room?
No, I actually built shelves the other day. I thought about doing that right now. It's weird. Like
Chad, are we doing a podcast here? Oh, hold on. I'm just moving my game room around.
What are you doing? Moving my TV stand. Wow.
And then you go back to him and he just have a game. Oh, my.
I miss him so much.
Flashbacks.
Like I've got these are the new shelves, and they've got like the towels are gonna go on the top shelf.
Ooh.
Nice.
And on the other shelf's going to be kind of the pantry shelves. So I mean, because we're kind of like struggling for space here, but I put those
room
together.
tour.
Yeah, so it's kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting times. Guys.
Is that meatballs and gravy back there?
No, I got some balls and gravy you can taste.
You should have all your confectionaries back there too. So
they will be. They'll be on the back shelf. Though that's what's going to be back there. So it's going to be good. I'm gonna have a toolbox on the bottom shelf.
Do you remember when I convinced you to do grocery store pickups? Pickup video on grocery
That was a stroke of genius.
You didn't do it yet.
I did do it.
You did one.
I don't need to do it anymore.
It was like potatoes and the chicken.
That was the best. That was the best. That was the best.
And people were so angry. They were like, "This isn't a pickup video."
This chicken's still sealed. VG graded.
VG graded chicken. Pickled egg challenge.
Yeah. Oh, that was the shits, man. That was so bad. Oh, you guys have no clue. That was so bad.
I'll ask you another question now. Because I talked about this a little bit earlier about getting really like stupid comments. What's some of the comments that really like pissed you off the most that you've got on YouTube?
I got a good one. It's a recent one. Crap. Well, not recent, but it was on my Hey Chris, What You Play when me and my wife played through Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The board game, and what we're doing is playing the board game. My goal in any of the games and anything like that, any of those play videos, is never to explain to you how to play the game. If you can't read the directions and understand that, then fuck you. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, if you can't read the directions and figure it out, I can't do nothing for you. I mean, I guess I could hold your hand and walk you through it. But the Nightmare on Elm Street video, I get a lot of periodically I'll get comments that pop through that are like, what was this? What was this? I sat here and watched this, and then I came here and all I saw was people playing a game.
You forced me to watch this shit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they choose to watch.
Right. And it's like, this explained nothing to me. Well, fuck you. I wasn't trying to explain anything to you. I was trying to play a game with my wife. I'm watching these guys play a game and talk about something else. Of course we are. We're playing a game. We're hanging out. What's your problem?
I think from now on, I'm just going to comment on people's video. How am I supposed to beat off to this?
I could tell you could check out my RedTube channel.
Someone actually in the comments, I don't know if you went and looked, they did ask for a link.
Well,
what's the link, dog?
I explained to them that it was mostly solo videos, so that they may not be into that.
It's much like the crotch channel we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That'll go live next week.
Cucumbers everywhere.
So, Stu, what about you? What's the comment that upset you the most that you got? Was it how much?
No, that didn't piss me off, but that's just a Facebook thing. If you're sticking to YouTube, something that I guess pissed me off is like I had a scanline fever. I was getting to specifics of CRTs and the signal qualities, and this guy commented, "That's not the proper Cat 5 B061202 wire. How could you be using that?" I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm not a fucking genius about this. Shut up. He's like, I am a visual super fuckhead that dude. He was a professional video motherfucker, and I don't. So I don't know what was going on. So I was like, how are you going to get mad at me for something that I don't necessarily know how I'm doing? And then I got mad at that because he's a fucking idiot. So that
I saw that job offer on monster.ca the other day. Official video motherfucker.
If you need a job as a motherfucker,
a video.
Check out my RedTube channel.
Makes
applications in
the
comments.
The comment that really got to me one time, because I get a lot of just like dumb comments about the way I speak or something along those lines, and that's fine. I mean, some people are very opinionated on that. But I used to get tons of comments on people accusing me of not having games in my collection, of stealing pictures from other people and then green screening myself in front of the games, regardless of the fact that there'd be many different angles of the room with the same shit in it. They would still say it's all green screen, and they would say I didn't own any of the games I had.
That's so funny.
It's the stupidest thing ever. Like, why the fuck would I pretend? And I'm sorry for swearing so much again, but why the fuck would I just go and take images and then superimpose myself over them? Like, I'm not that pathetic. Like, I like the Happy Video Game Nerd or Derek Alexander, what he did, because he made videos like in front on his couch. And then after that, I don't know if he green screens them now or he's got others. He's got in his videos, he's got a shelf behind him with one game on it. You ever watch his videos? Like, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. Because, it's good. It's good.
I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm just going to have one shelf behind me and like one EA Sports PlayStation 2 game on it.
And a bad one too, like a hockey one, because hockey sucks.
Low blow, Chris.
What do you know about sports, Chris?
No, my athletic prowess is legendary.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I got a 4.5 inch vertical. Yeah, I that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. You went through the time and the trouble to green screen someone else's games in front of you.
That's what I was accused of.
That's so stupid.
Now, mind you, at this time, I think I was about on episode 58 of the NES Complete Collection Chronicles. So it's not like I also painstakingly superimposed each of those games into my hand when I was showing them in those videos too, I guess.
You're a master at Adobe.
I know. But I just found it such a weird comment and such a pathetic comment. And there's a lot of jealousy, I guess, on YouTube about different things. Like, people get jealous because someone has more subs. But I've never really seen jealousy about people having games or having collections or something like that. That was the first time it really struck me that, like, wow, there's people out there that are absolute dicks.
Mm-hmm. Even people with the shit are absolute dicks.
Yeah.
And people with that? Yeah.
I'll do a follow-up to that, too. When I did my Halloween review, I was kind of already irritated that I didn't, like, it seemed like people weren't interested. Someone actually commented on the video, look at this guy. He's got this rare game Halloween, which I emulated, friends. And he was mad at me for having Halloween, and he said, oh, even in the video you mentioned that you don't play games that much. No, it wasn't Halloween. It was the Top 3 Tuesday on Atari 2600 games. And he attacked me for having this collection and then saying I never play it. Like, he's like, what's the point of having all these games if you never play them? And I was like, ooh, guess what? Joke's on you, pal. I sold a lot of them.
I don't even have them anymore.
Yeah.
Take that, internet guy. Eat a bag of dicks, internet guy.
I don't understand why people care so much, though. That's one thing that baffles me. Like, why do you care so much? What difference
Because
does it make what I have?
you're not fucking elite. That's why.
But so what? I mean, but see, that's a person. My personality has always been such that I never cared. Like, I never really fit in with anybody, so I didn't care. Like I was like,
fucking, yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't understand it. I don't understand that mentality. It just baffles my mind.
Because some people just get genuinely upset, and some people just wonder why themselves. And
I understand. There's some aspects I do understand, and I've been guilty of being, jealous of the subs, and it's. I get that. I do to some degree because I felt it myself. I've been upset that friends of mine have been more successful than me, even though I know I'm far more talented than them. For whatever reason. And, but in truth, like I have faced some jealousy. But
well, that's with any YouTube beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
any person that starts YouTube wants to be famous. Anybody in YouTube wants to be that top star. But then you realize after you're in it, and if you don't make it big, then what the fuck.
Well, and it's not only that. It's like whenever you're trying to do something that's remotely different, and you just don't feel like you ever catch traction. Meanwhile, this other person does a carbon copy of. Like how let's say there's someone that does like a carbon copy of the Happy Console Gamer Show, right? For an example, and they do that, and they have a significantly more success than you do, and you feel like what's going on, and you really work, and you work at it, And this person just sits in front of a shelf of games and talks for a couple minutes, but you actually have, I don't know. Sometimes.
Now, and there's some people out there that are super well fucking adjusted too, much more well adjusted than I am. You look at a guy like Mike Levy, who puts so much time and effort into all his videos, and he does not get nearly enough attention for what the time and effort he puts in. But he just keeps doing it. He keeps chugging along like nothing happened. Like, kudos to him, man.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, he's the kind of guy that's going to get that slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. I think in the end, Mike's going to be hot shit. Once we quit. We're going to quit. We're going to quit long.
I don't think I'm going to quit. I like actually making reviews and writing things up. I think I'm just going to focus on that. I don't know if I'm going to do Top 3 Tuesday anymore, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't seem to have a lot of traction. You guys never make response videos anymore, and I kind of did it for us.
Hey. No. Let's be fair.
Make one with top 3 favorite driving games, and I'll work something out.
I wish I could show you the screen right now. I'll show you where I was editing together the top 3, but I lost steam. I'm sorry, Mike. I let you down.
No, it's okay. But Stu brought up a really good point early on that, when we were first doing this, YouTube was a lot more exciting and it was very simplistic.
It changed a lot. It really did. It really did.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's really hard to do it. So like when I said, I'm going to do it every week, Stu was like, why not do it every other week? And I was like, oh no, the format is every week. But I found it really hard to keep up with that. And a lot of it's my own mental part, because when I first started doing it, I was just like talking about games and I'd talk off the top of my head. But after a while, I'd start watching other people's responses and I was like, no, I got to script this shit. So I made it more complex on myself and made it harder to keep up with it.
Yeah. The same shit happened to Ed though, right? I mean, like pretty much. I mean, it just became so much. It became so much work. And I guess in the end there's that fine line between it being work and it being working for something you enjoy. Like, like working on the car, that can be something you enjoy. Working, in your yard, that can be something that, is enjoyable. I whatever. But when it becomes work like a job, like Stu, you say it all the time. Like when it becomes like a job, it's gonna just you're gonna fucking up. That was one thing about like changing when I changed the format, when I got rid of the sweater vest. I'm sorry, and the tie. I'm sorry, but it became a job. It became work. I had it in my head. I've got to do this every month, and I had to, and it became that whatever video I was going to do for that month became everything. Like that's all I did. That's all I played. That's all I worked on. That's all I scripted for. I couldn't focus on anything else. I couldn't just have fun, and that was not. It was not fun anymore. I miss doing the sweater sometimes just because I do love a good cardigan and a good sweater vest, but it's also North Carolina and 90 some odd degrees and humid as all get out.
Yeah. So, going back to the thing about YouTube and stuff like that, it's interesting. Like I was involved with this other group of guys. They had a channel called Multitapped or website or whatever. So I did a couple things where they talked to them overnight, and it's weird. It's interesting to get other people's opinions on success on YouTube and stuff like that. Right. So a lot of these guys at the time, some of them have blown up a little bit more now, but some of them didn't really have a lot of subs or a lot of views at the time. And their focus was on like, well, it's not about the views or the subs. It's all about the likes. So who cares if you had 300 views if only 10 people like your videos? And I find it interesting to hear other people's rationalization of what success is and stuff like that on YouTube.
Yeah, I've heard like different like measuring sticks. Like you want to know, what is it like? You want a minimum of 10% viewership, and then 10% of viewership should be 10% of that viewership should be liking the video. Like that's kind of like the measuring stick, like if you're successful, it'll be a 10 and 10 breakdown. I don't know.
I don't either.
Right. Like I'm happy. Well, I'm less than happy, but like
he said I'm less than happy.
If someone watches a video, I'm still confused as why do people do it, but like, don't get me wrong, I want them to, but I don't know. I don't know that, the funny thing is, it's like the more you get, the more you want. I don't think, I feel like, do you remember when way back, I made the comment like that once you hit 1,000 subs, that was a long time ago, right? That I made that comment, like that was like years ago that I made a comment like, and Mike, you were like, no, it's not really like that. Well, I'm eating words now because it's not like that. I've hit 1,000 subs, and I mean, less than 100 people watch my videos. Fine. Thank you to those that do. Thank you guys that are willing to do that. And I've got some great guys like Matt Hanola. Matt Hanola is like one of my favorite people in the world. That guy is like loyal to me to the end. He follows me on Twitter. He messages me. Gives me topics whenever I fish for him and stuff like that. I have developed some genuine, for lack of a better way to say it, I've developed some genuine fans, some people that genuinely care about the stuff I work on and put out. And to those people, I say thank you. To everyone else, what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah. What do you want from me?
There are some people I understand that they click subscribe back when they watched a sweater vest video or whatever, and they were like, "Ooh, I like this guy," and then they just never unsubscribed. You should please unsubscribe if you don't want to be part of the show, part of my life, part of my RedTube channel. Don't subscribe. Just don't do it. The funny thing is, people are going to go on RedTube now
and search out Weekend Game Guy.
Yeah, and they'll find a guy. They'll find something. I'm sure. Not that I know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's jaded or whatever it is, but like, yeah, we did have those conversations, and like, even from talking to you guys, I found some of your concepts about YouTube very interesting. Like, you used to talk about it's all about that 1,000 subs. After you get 1,000 subs, things start rolling in. And I was like, well, that's It's not really how it works. And like Stu, a lot of times I've heard Stu say, well, those people get views because Nintendo. And like to an extent, I agree with you that Nintendo's a popular topic, but I don't think it's that simple.
Yeah.
A lot of times with YouTube, what I find is I always do this, and I talk about the community because I think the community is kind of a bullshit thing, but maybe it's not. But I do find there is a community that certain people, if they can become friendly with other certain people, it kind of promotes their brand and their image. And like you see it a lot, like certain people will intentionally try to be friendly with other people, and it's just for their personal gain. They want to be attached to that brand to
Like
bring themselves up.
Mike, I noticed that now. Like within the last year and a half, I had my sub count down to like not showing, right? And then now I recently popped it back up. I'm like 1,000 whatever subs, and I'm doing this car thing. I noticed this car people have like 100 subs. Like, oh, I'll mention you on my channel. That same thing is happening, even though my car channel is going. It's that's how it works. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's always fishing for more. Like you know, it's never building organic relationships. You know,
Yeah.
the three of us became friends when we had like 100, 200 subs. You know what I'm saying? And we've all grown, shrunk, whatever since then. You know, Mike did a lot more Nintendo videos. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, everybody says, "Oh, it's your Nintendo videos and stuff like
It's
that."
not. It's not that. It just was.
No, it was those stupid top tens I did. Like, how can you not say it was the top tens? Like, there was after I released one of those. After I released the top 10 NES Hidden Gems video, I was getting over 200 subs a day. Like, that's where everything I have on my channel came from.
That's a lot.
Which reminds me, my NES top 10 videos are going to be dropping every week.
Yeah, but it's not an exact science, right? So I did the top 10 NES Hidden Gems, and my top 10 videos at first got like over 100,000 views. And then I did top 10 NES games under $10. That got about 30,000 views. Top 10 video games of all time got about 25,000 views. So, like, it's not like an exact science. And then there's some people that think top 10 videos are the bane of existence on YouTube. They think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. Like, I saw this thing about Gaming Rebellion the other night, and the first thing that it says on this website is this is to go against all those top 10 crap videos that are on YouTube. So, you know, that's another opinion.
Right. Well, that's part of the reason why I do a top 5, because, you know, only the most intellectual of people can wrap up a thought in 5 rather than 10. Yeah. I'm not saying anything about people that do top 10 lists. You know,
I did a top 10 Super Nintendo games. That did pretty well, but I didn't give me a lot of subs though.
But Mike, you're right. I mean, top 10, top whatever list in general do very well.
Yeah,
in general, I can release the top 5 dumps I've taken this month. People will watch it.
None of them were solid.
No, actually, none of them were. Most of them were kind of like more like soft serve. But
you need to eat better, Chris.
Yeah,
I tried. Well, actually, you know, in truth, it got more soft servy when I did start eating better. A lot more celery, a lot of fiber. You know, before that, I was dropping like a cantaloupe in the bathtub. That might have been a problem. Yeah. I should have probably been using the bathtub.
Dropping rock alerts, huh?
Yeah, it was like little pebbles in there. You know the one I'm talking about when you've binged eat meat.
Yeah. But so you can have a low sub count and like 1 million views on one video. So it's just those weird things.
Yeah,
you know?
I run into that all the time, especially with like tutorial videos. I'm trying to figure out how to do some shit or whatever, and you'll see like this video's got 350,000 views, and it's like, thank you so much. It was really clear. Thank you for your whatever. 10 subs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's because the other videos don't marry well or are not as good as, and at least, I mean, what I can say for Mike is that that top 10 list might have been the gateway drug, but everything else was good too. In my opinion, But part of that is I like Mike's personality. I like your honesty. I like your, your genuineness about what you're talking about. It's even in the scripted, it's not completely scripted. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It's genuine.
My scripted stuff, it took a while for me to really get there because when I first started making reviews and started scripting it, I thought I had to, go over certain topics, and I really tried to make it like a professional review. But as time has gone on, it's basically just I talk. That's what my scripting is. I just talk off my ass.
Yeah. I try to, like, in particular with the shorter reviews that I've started doing, where it's all voiceover with the exception of maybe the intro and outro, and I really like doing those. I try to adhere to like an outline, and it works well. I mean, it really has, and I've had a lot of positive response to that. Yeah. But
See, my problem was like I'll even go back to thinking about I did a review on Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, and like I would get writer's block because I would force myself to try to talk about the music, and I would say, okay, I want to do a 2-minute section here talking about music. And that's not really me. I mean, like, if I want to talk about music and it's going to take me, 5 minutes, I'll talk about it for 5 minutes. To try to constrict it and be very professional in what you're saying sometimes is very difficult, and it takes away from the genuineness of what you're trying to put across too, because then you just start, the music, the atmosphere just brings me to a place, and it's not genuine, it's just stupid, and you're just saying things for the sake of saying them.
Did you guys watch my Xbox overview or my retrospective?
I did.
Gotcha.
The games you listed, I was like, wait, what? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Not one of the real AAA titles that are like the killer apps, if you would. Not one. That made it so good. And then what was my favorite comment was, what the fuck did I just watch? That was my favorite.
That's what I strive for.
And you fool me every time, because every time you put something out, I'm like, this is going to be legit. This is going to be serious. And it never is. It's another 2DS video.
Every time.
It's another 2DS video. Like when you said, check out my Xbox retrospective, I'm really proud of it. I was like, well, it's only like 2 minutes long. So what's going on here?
It was to the point. He got to it.
Very, very concise.
Yeah, yes. Definitely was. And if you have not watched that video, there should be a link in the description of some video somewhere. Maybe not necessarily this one. We'll see if Mike will do that. But he should, because it's hilarious.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love those videos. What you were saying about like the music and stuff, like I try to adhere to like this is the presentation, and I like lump over graphics, the music, the audio all in one shot, because what am I going to say about the audio in damn Battletoads? What am I going to say about that? It sounds like every other beat 'em up game on the Nintendo. Like there's like a standard like selection of sound effects. Well, they used them.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to say? It sounded like a punch in 8-bit.
I've gotten away from trying to explain the game from a technical standpoint to reviewing the game and explaining it from my feelings and my perspective. And that's the best place to be. Because
what are you going to... Are you a video game programmer, Mike? No. I don't have any expertise in that area. It's all opinion. Here's what my experience was. It was okay.
Well,
mediocre.
Rate, comment, subscribe.
Say you say more than it's okay, but you can say like, I really like the music. But like Mike Levy, again, Mike Tendo, he does the whole thing about video game music podcasts. I forget what it's called now, because I don't listen to most podcasts, and I'm not going to lie.
Pixel Tunes Radio.
I like Pixel Tunes. I listen to it at work, actually.
Yeah, so anyways, Mike knows something about music and pick apart the producers and stuff like that. Like for me to talk about a video game producer, I'm on Wikipedia looking it up.
Right.
Yeah.
What do I know? I don't know shit. I played the game and I liked it.
Sakura Gugu made this game, and he's famous for this music.
That's mildly racist.
It's not meant to be. So
okay.
So, but you know what I mean. Unless I'm actually familiar with it, I'm
Right.
not going to say the person's name or anything. I'm just going to say I really like the music. I find the music very upbeat. This is one of my favorite tracks of all time. If I mean it, I'll say it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, I think, and I think part of that, the honesty that I've tried to like adhere to, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I had 2 beers, guys. I think that's helped a lot, actually, in terms of what I've, the new direction I'm trying to take with what I'm doing. You know, I don't know.
So when's your next video, Chris? It's been a month. I just looked.
It will be probably Sunday, actually, if I can get the rest of this footage done.
I thought you were going to do one last week, top 5.
That's the one I got to the editing phase, and I realized I didn't have enough footage of the one game I wanted to put on there, so I need more footage of a game.
I got a top 3 Tuesday that I wrote the script for last week, but I ran out of time last weekend because I was kicking my tendon out. So I'm going to try to get
no excuses.
I'm going to try to get that done on Sunday. I got a birthday party tomorrow, Kitty's birthday party, so not going to happen tomorrow. And I'm going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy tomorrow night.
Oh, nice!
Yeah,
Tell me how it is.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But
Hey,
for my
where's all
channel,
your
I'm
videos,
gonna do gaming videos eventually. But right now, I'm in the mode while the weather's nice, so I'm not totally getting rid of just me not doing videos for games anymore. So, and what
All your videos are gone, Stu. Where are they at?
they're just privatized.
Man, I was going to share the Xbox video in the chat, but that's okay. I see how it is.
I'll unprivate it and then we can put it on the page. But what's funny, or not funny, is I was talking to Soft Otaku and he was talking to the Sega Stoner. Sega Stoner wanted me to Christmas video that I did that collaboration on because it was down because I took down everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that his kids watched it like every year, which was cool.
Like a tradition.
Yeah, so I decided to put that back up, and there's a couple of videos that I need to sift through, even though I'm doing my car shit, that I need to put back up.
Yeah, I think Ed actually watches that Christmas video every year with his kids too.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, that's a cool thing. Like I remember telling my niece and nephew that I was going to be in a cartoon, like a Christmas cartoon, and that was over the moon for them. They were so excited.
I like watching the Halloween one. Yeah.
That's funny.
He's the truth. But yeah, I need to filter back through the videos and put up a couple. Some I just didn't want because they were just the over and over pickup videos and just a bunch of other stuff that I didn't want up anymore. But
right,
I guess I'll put up the more production quality ones and a couple of the
gotta put the Xbox video up. That's so it's so fun. It's so I laughed the whole time.
The Cubic Ninja one got a lot of views too.
That's
Remember
another good one.
Cubic Ninja?
Yeah, that's a good one. That was a good video. Yeah.
If you were going to do YouTube going forward and nothing unhindered, you didn't make any decisions based on what you thought people were going to watch, what would you do with your channel?
Who, me?
Everybody, legit question.
Like if I stop, like this is what I'm going to do right now. This is
like if you just turned off all notifications, couldn't see what people were watching, what people were subscribing, anything like that. You had no feedback, and you were just posting videos. What would you do? Because, let's not lie here. Like, when you put up a video, if it gets a lot of thumbs down, you're like, oh, I shouldn't do a video like this anymore, or something like that. True. No feedback. What would you do with it?
I'd probably still do games, or some sort of electronics or media, but, I wouldn't do vlogs. I don't think I could do vlogs. I don't know. I was more of a guy that does the how-to tech videos.
Yeah.
I like those a lot.
This is what you do with your TV. Actually, you're supposed to do this. Fuck you, buddy. Don't tell me what to do.
Hey, that's how you get rid of the e-thugs, man.
I don't know how to do this. Why are you commenting?
Fuck off.
I would do whatever I wanted to do.
Would you have kept doing Weekend Game Guy?
No. Nope. I'll be entirely honest. The biggest reason that started because it was a good idea, I thought. I hated doing it.
But you thought
sort of.
you were pitching a show, basically.
More or less, you know, and I'll be entirely honest. I'll be the first one to admit that I really hoped it would take off. But by the time I'd put so much work into it and I got into like the third one, I don't know. By the time I invested the time and effort it took, like the Stubbs the Zombie video, the time and effort it took to make that video with the friends that helped out with that, and like the creation of props, as cheesy as they were, like the fake hand and stuff like that, making that, or the makeup that went that took 2 hours to do my boy's makeup. I didn't do it. A friend, his girlfriend at the time, a friend of his, did that. It took like 2 hours to get right. I had to go buy the suit, so forth, so on. When
that was cool
all was said and done, yeah, and it was a great video. But when all was said and done, I didn't walk away with 2 million subs. You know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got maybe like 20 subs out of that, and I realized this is not going to take off the way I want it to. Would it eventually? Maybe. But do I have the time, the resources, and the manpower to continue this? I didn't. I mean, those guys, the guy that played Stubbs and his girlfriend, they both went off to college. They moved away. I had no one to help me out. It was just me by myself. It was no way to do it.
But say it was like the Truman Show. Like, you've seen the Jim Carrey movie, The Truman Show, and you had no feedback on if people liked it, anything like that. You had no idea if it was successful or not. You got to admit, there's that element that if you put a lot of time and effort into it and it doesn't get that gratification, then it's demotivational. If you had no idea whether it was a huge hit or if it wasn't, would you have kept doing it? And I know you said no because it was so much work, but you did bring up the fact that it didn't take off the way you wanted.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't say that. I can't honestly say I would. I don't know. That's a difficult. I don't know. I really don't know, because it's hard to say, because it was a lot of work and it was exhausting.
But did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it with them, you know, working with my friends to do something like that. That was great. And we enjoyed, you know, but when things evolved and changed and it was just me again, there was no way for me to maintain it. And I would have probably, once it reverted back to that, I definitely would have walked away. And it would, which is pretty much what happened. I got to a point where I just couldn't. It was too much work, you know. So
and it wasn't fun, and it was too much work.
That was it. That was it. I mean, it was too much work. But you know, Mike, I can't ignore the aspect that
the return on investment wasn't there.
Yeah, I can't ignore that. That was very much part of what my mindset was. I can't ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it's the same way with everybody. People try things, and if they don't get it, they just can't keep it up. There's and some people stick with it longer, but usually there is that, fall back down to earth piece where you're just like.
And now, let's be fair, and especially, I mean, kind of coming full circle. If you don't take off fast now,
yeah,
I'm sorry, you're probably not going to take off.
Yeah,
and if you do any kind of, whatever, it's going to be really slow. If you're not at 1,000 subs within your first couple days, sorry, but that's because we're kind of looping back. You got to have the production. Apparently, you got to have the production there. You've got to have a frequency. Like, I'm talking about 2-3 videos a day. Some of these channels are doing.
So, you guys know Shane Luis, Rerez, right?
Yeah.
So he only started about 2 years ago on YouTube. But, I mean, Shane has the production. He has a background in it. And he did the networking. He networked like no one I've ever seen. And, I mean, I think there's a combination of doing all of that. If you want to make yourself successful on YouTube, you got to be willing to work your ass off in a lot of capacities. And you got to ask yourself, sometimes people just don't have the time, the money, the resources to put into it. And it's not like it was. Like, I don't think you'll ever see another PewDiePie or however the hell you say that, of just some asshole sitting behind his camera yelling at Dark Souls. I think that from now on, it is going to be more the production and the people that hit the streets and network and bust their ass. Those are the people that are going to be successful. Or something stupid like some heavyset lady with a Chewbacca mask on.
Whatever it takes these days, right, guys?
Yeah. But, like, to answer your question, that 1,000 subs within that number means nothing. And even, like, 100,000 subs. 100,000 subs, realistically, that silver play button, that's the old 1,000 subs. That's the beginning, really. If you want to really gauge yourself on success, even with 100,000 subs, I mean, you're not making a living on this.
No.
Not without Patreon. Pat me on the back Patreon.
Yeah, you got to be running Patreon, and that's I have no gripes against that. Let's be honest.
No.
That's your choice, and you know what? If you're going to do this full time, you're going to need something, and or either that or like promotion deals, from companies, and honestly, from what I've understood, given the adpocalypse, as people have termed it, with what happened with PewDiePie and stuff like that, was that that a lot of people have turned to that, and a lot of people had turned to that long ago. They had turned to more direct sponsorship, and that's cool too. I don't care. Fuck it. But you know what? I called shit for that. I've called shit for some of stuff like that. When the guy came to me and said, "Hey, you did a video about puzzle games. Review our puzzle game," or he didn't even say review it. He said just make a video about it. Would you be willing to? And I was like, oh, sure. Whatever. I played it. I liked the game, so I said, well, hell, I'll review it. Called some crap. A lot of but it wasn't nothing in the comments. I never had any really negative comments. Had a lot of thumbs downs though, a lot more. Like all of a sudden there was this big spike in that, and I wonder, was it because that I said, hey? Was it because I said, yes, I'll do that for you. Sure, I'll take a look at your game and I'll review it. Or was it because it wasn't a retro game? You know what I'm saying? Like there's that. I'll always ask, is that what's going on? Did I screw myself up by talking about retro games when I did? Have I locked myself off from a whole world of gaming, a whole world of possible videos because I chose to do retro games when I started, and now there's this whole subset of subscribers I have?
I think that a lot of what you've done is you're very artistic, but sometimes with your thumbnails detract away from people going to the videos.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes you're too minimalistic because you're trying to go for a certain style. That if you look at most of the successful thumbnails, it's all the same shit. It's big picture and then big block words. And like I find that you'd go with the tiny picture in the background and stuff like that. It's almost like you were going against the grain a lot with your branding.
That's true, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean it's true that genuine. I would admit that is. In a lot of ways, that's what I tried to do.
It's like not one of these. It's like, like one of those fucking.
Yeah, I won't do that. Don't do that. I try to do something a little more. Yeah, I've never thought about it, and I guess that comes from yeah.
See,
interesting.
When you're nuts like me. Like, you just pick everything apart, even stuff that's really none of your business. So I'll look at stuff like that, and I'll be like, that's probably why that's happening. I might be wrong. Oh, I don't know. But,
it may be. Yeah, it may be. Yeah, it may be.
Because, like, I look at certain people, like, why their channels aren't successful, and I have no answer. And I'll just start questioning, and I'll say, why is this happening? Why isn't this video getting views? I definitely can't answer my own questions, but, like, I'll look at it and say, maybe that's maybe. I don't know. But sometimes, like with like you're very artistic, you're very creative, but I find that almost like you're hindering yourself sometimes with the thumbnails because you go in a direction that just it seems to be against the grain on what's popular and trendy.
But it shouldn't be that way either. You know, it should be if people like it, then they like it. If they don't, then they don't. But you also, it sucks that you have to be artificial in some aspects if you want a video to be doing good. You know.
Yeah, but that's what YouTube is nowadays. Like, you know, it is that. It's not. Before it was just like, hey, there's a picture of me with my mouth half open that YouTube chose itself, and people would still watch it. But now it's all about that thumbnail. Like, how creative is the thumbnail?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. Yeah, and I try whenever I do thumbnails and whatever, I try to make it consistent with a branding that I'm going for whatever time period I'm working with at the time. You know, like right now I've kind of got this, I don't know what's going on with my branding, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, I really I'm sorry, go ahead, Stu.
I was going to say, why doesn't YouTube have active thumbnails like Pornhub does? Would you watch it more if you had more screenshots like Pornhub does?
That's an interesting question. If I can jump back to Chris, like what I'm talking about specifically is, remember when you no, not your Pornhub, but with your thumbnails, you did this really cool watermark thing that I find very cool, but wasn't very clear on what you were really trying to portray. It wasn't as bright and colorful as
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like last year or whatever, whenever I was running, I did like when I did the Rage review and the yeah. I see what you're saying. Well, see, and then this year, whenever I kind of rebranded a little bit and did some new stuff, I tried to do a little bit more of this is what's in the video kind of thumbnails, but at the same time, it's still kind of the same in its way. But you know, if I look back though, like some of the more but then they're top 5 videos, so that doesn't really matter.
But like, I'll go back to Rerez again, like Shane Luis. Like, if you look at, I'm probably saying his last name wrong, but if you look at all his videos, the one consistent thing is they're super bright, colorful. Because really, all you see is that thumbnail on a page of 1,000 other videos. What separates your thumbnail from all the rest? Like, it's got to be loud, bright, and make it stand out.
Yeah. Mine right now are all like black.
Yeah, they're all very bland and Soviet-like.
Dark. That's what I'm going for. I'm depressed. I'm brooding.
I like your thumbnails, Chris.
I didn't say I didn't like them.
Chris, he hates it.
I knew it. It's his inner Canadian passive-aggressive nature. He won't admit it. He'll never admit that he hates them. But he'll send a relief effort down here to bring me food, and it'll be great. So
and milk.
And milk in a bag.
In a bag.
Not anymore, apparently, because Canada ruined all my dreams. That was the biggest reason I wanted to go to Canada, because I wanted to get some milk bags.
Oh, no, you can still buy them. They're just not here in Newfoundland. They still have them other places.
Oh, good. Excellent. So my joke won't be lost. Hey, could you pass me those milk bags?
You're going to have to take a picture of that one day, Mike, and send it to us.
I need to see some milk bags.
I told you last time. We're going back, but I told you that they used to sell cartons for you to put your bag of milk in, right? Like these little containers.
They just fucking have it in the carton, man.
I'm serious. So you buy a plastic container that you would put your bag of milk in, and then there was a little pincher. So once you open your bag of milk, you could kind of reseal it with the pincher between pours.
Kind of reseal it.
Welcome to Canada. Have some maple syrup. We say corpse and Mirio.
It's a strange land.
And with that, I think it's a good time to wrap things up. We've rambled enough.
Tremendously.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. I've enjoyed myself. So I'll thank you guys for letting me hang out and drink with you and talk about my RedTube channel. So
until the next one.
Yep.
Check out the Playing with Power page for links to Chris's RedTube and other stuff. Yeah. So
VIP section.
So
Mike, anything you want to add?
All right.
So So if you subscribe to Chris's Patreon, he'll give you the links to his RedTube channel. And if you're a gold level sponsor to his Patreon, he'll let you be in one of the videos.
And give you a blowjob.
No,
My
maybe.
my favorite ever line in a porno ever was the girl and the guy are kind of doing things, and she just looks at him and goes, "You ever get a foot job?" And he's like, "No, you're gonna get one now."
There you go.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yay!
But